What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you'll see a Patreon account. If you click it, you can become a member. All you got to do is try. Recommend movies and music and trailers for the reactors, so click the damn link. With that being said, I'm here today with some damn guests. Till my this way right here, I have Senor Del Boy from Movie Mash Reviews. Go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, my name is Del Boy, and I'm from Movie Mash, and you are watching Cinema Chop Shop. And today is going to be a big versus showdown, one that a lot of people have been talking about recently. And we're going to just break it down and explain to you the facts of the matter. Like one is going to be a slam dunk. But anyway, yes, subscribe to my channel, Movie Mash. Do it better than these two. Nice.
Allegedly, this guy don't even. Never mind. I ain't even gonna shit on your channel. Anyway, to the bottom, we got one half of the dynamic duo D&J Reviews. We have D. Go ahead.
Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy D from D&J Movie Reviews. You are tuning into, my boy Cinema Chop Shop, Movie Mash up there. We're gonna get into this and see how who's gonna win, or who everybody thinks gonna win between, the clown from Terrifier or Pennywise. So y'all sit back and y'all ride with us.
All right. So like you guys heard, we are going to break down who will win in a fight between Pennywise the dancing clown or Art the Clown from the Terrifier series. Now, it is important to note that yes, these two guys are they got a lot of hacks, but we're going to go ahead and break it down in the most logical way that we can. The first thing I wanted to do this in a specific format. We're going to talk about which character do we think has the better design, which means overall design, appearance, which one looks the most frightening, which one looks like they belong in a horror movie. Like, if you had to pick, if you wanted to dress up like one for Halloween, who you picking? Like, which one looks the best to you guys? Like, who has the coolest design? Who wants to go first?
You need to we got to be clear. Is it Pennywise from 1990?
You can use any of them. I don't care. You can use the 1990 miniseries Pennywise. You can use Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise. It doesn't really matter, because I mean, technically, Art the Clown went through two phases too. Because if you've seen, I don't think you guys have seen it, but if you've seen All Hallows Eve, which is Damien Leone's first movie, that one is the first movie that features Art the Clown. His design is similar to what Art the Clown looks like, but it kind of looks a little bit different, facially, right? So, I mean, you can use either or; it doesn't really matter. But I'm going with the David Howard Thornton, the one that everybody knows with the long nose and shit. But who you guys think has the cooler design?
I'll start.
Go ahead.
I think cooler design is Art the Clown, because the black and white squares, with Skarsgård's version, it's kind of got that Victorian kind of frilly look. I'm not going on about which is more scary. I'm just saying, if I was to wear a clown suit, I would probably wear the black and white rather than. And if you look at the 1990 version, he was more of a circus clown, kind of very shiny,
very simple.
Yeah, but I think the black and white looks nice. Are we talking about face as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all right.
All of it. Fine. Appearance, everything.
I'm a bit conflicted about that. Who would frighten me more, to be honest with you, because Art the Clown.
Skarsgård has that big ass scrotum head.
Sorry,
you got a noggin.
I said Bill Skarsgård has that scrotum head, like his head looks like.
But Art the Clown does something unhinged about the way he looks, just sitting there, or just something wrong. So I'm gonna have to go. For me, I'm gonna have to give it a draw on that, because I couldn't choose who would frighten me the most. Do you know what I mean? It really is tough there, because even though he does look that creepy, if you look at what's his name, Tim Curry's version, he doesn't have a particular kind of messed up look about him. And then he just looks messed up. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to have to give that a draw there. Even though I like the black and white colors a bit more. Who would scare me? I think they both look pretty. I'm not going to say one's better than the other. I'm going to say that's a draw for me.
Okay. All right. Hey, respectable. D, what do you think?
I will go with Terrifier.
Okay.
Because I mean, again, is that black and white. I mean, you see that black and white with his face. It's just like, what the hell? I mean, you're gonna see a clown, but you don't see black and white clowns like that. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't see that. And I mean, if somebody just sit there and
And
just
then
staring
teeth.
at you in black and white, and your face is all white, and you're just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So nah, I go with him. I go with the Terrifier. I mean, you go like you said. If you see Ronald McDonald, you see Pennywise.
Who's that?
So
Okay, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, he kind of does look
Yeah,
very
but he
Ronald-ish.
scares me.
yeah, but then you see Terrifier, you don't see it a lot, at all. I mean, if I'm at a block party or at a Halloween party, if I seen that shit with blood on his face, I'm like, nah, it's time for me to go.
It's time for me to exit, player.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I have to pick, I'm also probably going to pick. I'm going to pick Art the Clown, and the reason why I'm going to pick Art the Clown is because, I mean, although his like actual suit isn't really much, like there's not much to look at, like
It's
in
plain.
comparison to like Bill Skarsgård's like the Victorian kind of like clown outfit, the jester outfit, and then Tim Curry's more colorful outfit, looking like a more of a regular clown. I just mostly it's the facial structure for me, that long elongated nose, those nasty looking teeth, and he has
Flesh
like the
between
dirty.
them.
Yeah, exactly. He has like the little dirty gloves, like like he just looks like a very grimy individual. Like his facial structure just looks different. Like it's very bony in certain areas. Like I don't know. It's just something really unique about the way that his character just looks, and I think that's why he's been like lately he's been kind of like he's a new horror icon, and I think a big part of it is because of his appearance, the way that he looks. Also, the fact that the way that David Howard Thornton does a lot of like body acting, and he does a lot of things with his face and a lot of facial expressions and things like that. I think that also helps the character have its own like unique look and style. But yeah, I think if we're looking at just strictly appearances, I think that Art the Clown has a more terrifying design, no pun intended. So we got two Terrifiers and we got a draw. But I mean, I completely understand why,
Oh yeah.
like, why Pennywise the clown would be considered terrifying. I mean, Bill Skarsgård, his ability to do that thing with his eyes where he does that, and
Oh
then him
yeah.
squiggling.
That thing is there.
Yeah, then he has that big ass head, like like that. I mean, come on, like that's not
Then
something
you've
that
got Tim Curry,
Yeah.
who just is the genius when he comes to want to be menacing, like
Right.
and he don't need no real makeup. He real throat, and it's like, damn,
Yeah. Especially when he put on. There's a scene where I think it was when he was going to eat Georgie, and he started growing like the little sharp teeth.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
And then even that one part where he does the dead lights thing, where he like looking and his eyes are blinking because he has like this little flash coming from his eye. I mean, look, there's the icon. They all have iconic looks, but I think the more sinister look, I got to give it to Art the Clown. That's just me though. So let's move on to the next part where we just talk about briefly about which movie that we think is the best movie. Now, what you can do is what we're going to do is we're going to pit Terrifier 1 and 2 against the part 1 and 2 from the miniseries, and then we're going to pit Terrifier 1 and 2 against It Chapter 1 and 2. I think that's the best way to do it. It makes it a little bit more simpler, right? What you guys okay with that? All right,
Yeah,
so let's do first round is going to be Terrifier 1 and 2 versus the mini series It 1 part and 2. So the one with Tim Curry. All right, which one do you think is the better film? Like which one overall is just like the better written film, the better just overall story, things like that? Which one is the better one?
So, all right, I'm gonna try not to bring in nostalgia into this because, like, I love
Definitely
this since the 90s. Do you know what I mean? And it's made for TV, and it's got literally all the tropes of a TV. Like a Hallmark movie, you could say. Do you know what I mean? But it is a cut above the rest in a sense where I know it's I think it's based in the 50s or the 60s.
Something like that.
And there's a Stand By Me feel to it, or that kind of.
I can see that.
Yeah, there was a real and I was just so engulfed, and I love that film so much. Now again, nostalgia. I'm trying not to be biased, I do still think it's better. I think it's got better character development. It's just an overall nice kind of a. It has two kind of parts. I know part two, but I mean like you've got the fear factor, and then you've got the Goonies feel to it, and you've got a few elements of horror there. I feel like when it comes to Terrifier, the first one, and I'm not putting it down. So this isn't. I actually think they're both great, but I just think it's a low budget. It could nearly probably less budget than the other one in
I
even
think
in the
so.
90s. Yeah, definitely. And what they done with that was amazing in a sense where it just that little how many low budget films and getting a big sequel like that, big sequel. So
Not a
yeah,
lot.
I just think that it's apart from Art the Clown, apart from him as a character, the film could have been just generic. But apart
Yeah.
from him and what he does, that makes it a cut above the rest. But when it comes to it, with the character development, with everyone, yeah, and the story and the build up, definitely for me, it's still it. And I'm not putting down Terrifier at
No,
all.
look, this is not an easy thing to do because
Yeah,
they're two completely different
very,
movies.
very.
Two
But
completely
again,
different movies. So this could swing any way depending on who's the person you're talking to. If it's somebody that really enjoys like that more 80s campy slasher
yeah.
gore fest, they're probably gonna lean more Terrifier. But if you like more of a story driven horror
Yeah,
movie,
I
then you're
do.
probably
And
gonna
there's the
lean more
build up
it.
to it. Even the town of Derry there's a build up. It feels like a character of its own. People around, all these things. It's just a sinister place. The character development, all that. It's just a great build up. I do think it's just a bit better. And I'm trying not to be nostalgic. It's not because of that. Just a little bit better. That's all. Bear with me 1 second. My cat is meowing. I'm not moving. I'm just opening the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off of him. Yeah, it's just Pennywise it's a story. I mean, yeah, Arch the Clown, okay, I understand that, but it's just the story of Pennywise was just amazing, and the characters and like the town, like you said, like Downey, it's like you're in a character. It brings life, and
Yeah.
it was just nice. I just loved it. Again, don't give me Arch the Clown was great. Don't get me wrong, but I just like the story of Pennywise better.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm piggybacking off y'all too. Definitely. It part 1 and 2, the made for TV miniseries. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's it's an overall better story. It's about kids overcoming their fears and
absolutely.
kind of like facing their demons in a way, and just it's and how like basically all their fears kind of manifested in a physical form, and it also deals with uh stuff that kids used to deal with at that time, bullying and harassment and racism and
Right.
things like that. Abuse, there's a lot of themes in that movie that are touched on that you don't really see that too much in horror movies, like where they really explicitly touch on themes and they make it a central part of the story.
Yeah.
And hats off to Terrifier, dude, because I love Terrifier. It's a different type of movie. Like I said, it's more of it's a love letter to the B80s slasher era. It's not very story driven, but I will give Terrifier this. I'm going to say this about Terrifier. Terrifier, the one thing that makes Terrifier so unique is that it broke the code, right? It broke the code. Art the Clown broke the damn code. This fool pulled out a damn gun and shot somebody when he was getting his ass whooped. I
Yeah.
did not see that coming. I'm watching
Yeah.
the movie and she's beating him with that damn 2x4, and I'm just like, oh, it's a rap, like, or I'm just sitting there thinking like, it's either a rap or I was like, or he about to do an ass pull thing. Man, he pulled that pistol from the ankle and was like, pop, pop, pop. I was like,
So what
what?
you're saying is you had that all that time you were just killing people
Like
with knives and saws because you wanted to, but you had
That's his
that
plan
bit
B. He
just
was
in
like,
case.
look, he was like, he had a plan B. He was ready
Yeah.
for
he
it.
was getting his ass whooped. And
Yeah,
I
he
was
was
like,
getting his ass whooped.
where did the gun come from? Like,
That
where
was
did that shit go?
I like I said, that broke the mold. And off top, I was like, yo, this is a different type of movie. Like, this is a different type of movie. But
Mm-hmm.
if we're just talking about which movie is better, I gotta go with it. It was told better. It had better character. It had way more better
I
character
just wanted
development.
to
It had
say to
better.
you, if you took out Tim Curry out of it, the first one, Tim Curry, I still think it was all the characters and all the kids did a great job. That poor kid, he hung himself, the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they all did a great job in general in telling the story, and with Tim Curry just.
I mean, Pennywise is in the movie, but it's like it's not. Tim Curry's just such a good actor that he steals it every time he comes on the screen. It's kind of like Heath Ledger's Joker in Batman.
Yeah.
When he popped up, it was like all eyes on him because he
Yep.
just demanded that freaking attention. And it's the same thing with Tim Curry. Tim Curry isn't in it like he's not in the whole damn movie. Like it's not like like he does a 50-50 bill split with the cast. It's just that when he's on the screen, you know he's on the screen and he demands that attention. But they just did a good job with everything. Just like there's like a shower scene in the original. You remember the shower scene in the original It? Exactly where he comes out. Yeah, it's just I don't know. And then to me, just the practical effects in that movie were just a little bit more they just were a little bit more over the top. And Terrifier has some amazing practical effects. Girl getting sawed in half. The practical effects for the gore, amazing, top notch. But I think it just utilized a little bit more of their set with their practical effects as well too. That was another thing that they did really well. I think overall, like it is just at least the made for TV miniseries.
They are two very different type movies too. You know.
They're definitely two different types.
To compare them in a way. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it's the thing.
But look, the good thing is, like I said, we're all giving them. We're giving both the movies their praise, but we're just saying overall, like logically, this is a better written movie. All right,
it was,
but let's go ahead and move on to now. We're going to It Chapter 1 and 2, Bill Skarsgård versus Terrifier 1 and 2. I want to start this off because I got a unique take. I think this is a 50-50 split for me. I think that It Chapter 1 is better than Terrifier 1 as a film, but I think that Terrifier 2 is better than It Chapter 2 as a film. Like that's what I'm thinking. Because honestly, because when It Chapter 1 came out, that shit blew me away. I was like, yo, this movie is crazy. Like, I think because I was afraid. I was like, man, they're gonna do injustice to this character. It's gonna be bad, it's gonna be whack, it's gonna be boring, And I was just immersed in the film and I was like fully engaged. And then so I like overall, like I said, it is in the aspect of storytelling, I think it was done a lot better than Terrifier. Now, when we move on to It Chapter 2, that movie was done a little bit differently. I know, we visited the characters as adults, but it really felt like a rehashing of the first movie, but with the characters as adults. It kind of felt like the exact same damn movie.
It is.
And then they had a really bad third act. That and the way that they beat it, I thought it was pretty fucking ridiculous. So I'd rather sit through a 2-hour Terrifier movie with the lead Sienna doing Lauren Rivera doing an amazing job as a final girl, and then David Howard Thornton killing it as Art the Clown, and watching all the cool little practical effects when people getting murdered, especially that bedroom scene. So I gotta say that overall, just like this, it's not even a matter of like story, like telling the story. I think just overall, I find Terrifier 2 more enjoyable than It Chapter 2, but then It Chapter 1 is a better movie than Terrifier 1. What do you guys think?
Well, I reckon I think It Chapter 2, 90s and thingy, I couldn't compare them. They're very similar. They're literally the same, yeah. But I would still say I prefer it more than Terrifier 2. It's not as good as, not close to being as good as the first, but you're talking about is it 2019 it came out? Anyway, I think it was 19.
What, It Chapter 2?
Yeah, 17.
It doesn't feel like it was that long ago. It's funny when you say it out loud.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like it was that long. It feels like it was a long time ago. But when we said
2001 was 2017, so it's been a while. But anyway, as I say, despite all that, we still have character development. They still kill children on it. Do you remember? Which is a fucked up scene. Do you remember where there's a girl under those stairs? The stairs are closing, and she's chasing blue. Is it, what do you call them, flies that light up? Whatever.
Fireflies.
And she's going in and she had a birthmark on her face or something. And anyway,
yeah.
I was like, damn, you know. Just even though the characters aren't the best as they are in the first one, I still think, and the ending, I nearly prefer the 90s ending better more because it's so stupid. It's brilliant, you know.
But yeah, when they just talk shit to him and make him small, that was dumb.
No, when they just push over a spider, a big giant spider, and they go, let's push it, and it just pushes and falls over, like, you know. And all right, but regardless of that, and regardless of the ending, I still feel it's still better, more character development, more of a build up. Terrifier is just an extension of the first one. I do think they've upped the ante and we find out a little bit more about him. I think it's a tad too long for the film it is, but it doesn't take away my enjoyment. But bottom line is, for those little reasons, it goes as well as the first one, as we just said. It's the same reason I still think It 2 isn't. I still really like actually It Part Chapter 2 on both. I actually do like them. So I mean, I know everyone hates them. I do. I like them. I think they're pretty good. I just I still think the rewatchability for me, more is happening, more is going on than Terrifier 2. But in fairness, I haven't watched Terrifier 2 in a while, and I have been meaning to. So maybe I changed my mind. You know what I mean? But as for now, I've seen It Chapter 2 a handful of times by choice as well.
Okay. All right, Darrell, you're up.
I'll go with It Chapter 1. Terrifier 1, I turned it off about 4 times. I ain't gonna lie. I turned that shit off because that shit was nasty. Then I watched Terrifier 2. Then I was like, this shit, I can do it. And
it is hardcore.
The bedroom scene, like you was talking about, shit was nasty. Everything he does in that damn movie is gory. I give that to it. It's gory, and like you said, it's longer, but it's just so damn gory. But I still think It Chapter 1 is still better than It Chapter 2, Terrifier 1, and Terrifier 2. That's just my opinion. Okay. So, I mean, because you got, when you talking about the kids, nobody know about the clown. Well, they did, but they didn't believe it. Then all this shit started happening. Then, the characters and the kids was like brung the movie. Then you had It come, and like you said, he stole the show. But the kids wasn't afraid. They was afraid at first, but then they was like, you know what? He killed my brother. I got to do what I got to do. So, and it's just, I like It Chapter 1 better than I can sit down and watch It Chapter 1 more than Chapter 2 and Terrifier 1 and 2. I like
Is It Chapter 2 better than Terrifier 2?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's all I wanted to hear. All right. Okay, so now that we've got that out of the way, which movies that we think is better, it's time to go into the nitty gritty. All right, it's time to do it. Now, we're going to have what would happen if hypothetically these two characters ran across each other? Now, I know technically both of these characters are kind of like immortal, like they're kind of hacked, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. They don't technically have to be dead, but if they can't move or if they're like immobilized or something, it's the same thing. All right, like you get what I'm saying? So
like Jason and Freddy never dies.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like technically Freddy lost because he ain't got nobody to fight Jason with. Like he's immobilized, so technically he lost. But anyway, to the point.
No,
I want to wait. What?
Thank you.
No.
Look, we're gonna have this. We'll have this discussion another day.
Thank you.
We'll have this discussion another day. But at the end of the day, because if you're immobilized, you can't fight.
Why can't?
Man, look. If somebody gets in a fight, right, and let's say they hit them and they fall and they hit the back of their neck, and for some reason they become like quadriplegic, are you going? You're still alive, but you lost the damn fight, correct?
No,
I mean you can't fight back. You're quadriplegic,
but he is a devil. The spirit.
Man, look. Anyway, look. We're not gonna make this about Freddy. Anyway, look. The winner is either by death or immobilization. That's the law of the land right now. Either you're immobilized or you're dead. Anyway, so what I noticed is that the made-for-TV version is a little bit more aligned with the book, so they share kind of like similar, like it's aligned. The made-for-TV version is aligned a little bit more with the book, and then the second chapter is a little bit kind of like on its own. It kind of did its own thing. In my opinion, I feel like Art the Clown would fare better against the movie It versus the made for TV It or the book It. But first, we're gonna go into just a little bit. I don't know about a little bit, but let's go into it. Let's say first round is Art the Clown versus made for TV It / book It. Now, what I want to point out is, for those of you that don't know, It in the book can only be killed with that stupid ritual of Chud. So that automatically kind of like hacks it. And then It is technically like Dark Side in a way. And I think that's the best way to kind of describe It. It's like Dark Side. You know how Dark Side is basically like kind of like a hologram of what he really is? Like he's not when Dark Side pulls up to Earth, he ain't never really in Earth. It's a hologram of himself. Like it's a projection of himself.
But
He's
can
projecting
Dark Side shapeshift and change into different people? So I
think like
It could probably beat Dark Side.
Possibly. So It is basically an outer dimension being. Like it's a being that's on the outside of space, like our space, and then there's a space outside of that. It is basically living outside of that. And in some way, he's able to physically manifest himself in our world because I think somehow in the made for TV version, they said it's an asteroid or whatever that hit Earth, but he found a way to kind of project himself into Earth into a physical form. So in a low key, like It is kind of like a god, like in a weird way. Like in the books, he's kind of like a god. So yeah, and Art the Clown's just a clown that's super powered by a little clown.
All I'll say is that this is a slam dunk. Book, movie, doesn't matter. It wins. But what the trick is what you've got to try and find where instead we all know he would win. It just goes without saying. But you've got to find out is that anything Terrifier could do to hurt him, do you know? And the only thing Terrifier could do, if we're going along with any chance at all, because literally It can do anything. He can shape shift. He can look like he can be anyone. He can do anything. He can even look like Art the Clown. He can be Art the Clown.
But that shapeshift thing can be a bite in the ass too, because it gains whatever weaknesses that shapeshifting has. So if let's say this fool turns into Dracula, then this motherfucker, he can't be in sunlight, he can't be around garlic, he can't get hit, he can't be around crosses because he absorbs those weaknesses
those powers.
Because remember the first one with the werewolf,
Superman. But anyway, I'm only joke. But the thing is, right? So the only chance that Terrifier would have, in my book, is that, like the film, like the two films at the end, is where he kind of, I don't believe in you, you're not scared. But Terrifier has to talk to do that, and he doesn't talk. So it's like that. The only thing I could find is that he would say, I am not frightened of you. I don't think of you. You're nothing to me. All that. But I don't know if Terrifier isn't talking, or he doesn't want to talk, or he just can't. And also, it's kind of an unfair fight as well, not because of who would win. It's just we don't know enough about Art the Clown. We know a shitload of about it. And for people who haven't even read the books, just know enough from the movies, you get loads. Yeah. Well, you get enough. And you don't with Art the Clown. The only thing we got is in part 2 is where we know, all right, he's supernatural to an extent. We don't know how much. And obviously that little girl is around, so we know that's either he's a figment of his imagination. I don't think it is. I think it's something that's...
No, if I'm not mistaken, she resurrected him.
Well, I feel like she's some kind of like demon keeping him alive or keeping him going.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
A demon that resurrected him or something like that.
Bottom line is the only way I could see him getting anything over it in any scenario, because it could probably beat Freddy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just, it's not an unfair. It's like a heavyweight fighting an ant. It's just not, but it's just talking to him, telling him, I'm not scared of you. I don't believe in you. You're nothing to me. And then he doesn't talk. So there's that. So I cannot find a way. I cannot find a way where he could actually anyway overpower it.
I got one way, but I'm gonna let Darrell chime in real quick. Go ahead, Darrell. What you think?
I'll say it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'll say it. But I mean, Archer Clown can come out with a lot of shit, pull out a gun out his ass, you know, shoot him, stab him. But you know, that's not gonna kill him. But I mean, I don't know. He's like Freddy. Yeah, it's almost
I
like
think he
Freddy.
could beat Freddy.
But
Because
I mean,
what? Sorry.
it's just not you good. It's just I just don't know how, like he said, I don't know how Archer Clown can actually beat Pennywise. Like how? He has to talk. He doesn't talk in none of those movies.
No.
One or two. How can you do it?
But here's the thing, though. I think it. Okay, look. Everybody gets this misinterpreted too. I want to basically say this. People are saying that Pennywise can only like beat you if you're afraid of him, and I want to say that only really applies to the movie version. I want to make that very clear. It only applies to the movie version. The book and the first movie is mainly like the only reason he likes fear is because it seasons the meat. Like
Tastes better. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, because it tastes better. He doesn't need you to be afraid of him to kill him, like to kill you. He just does it like because it's like seasoning to meat. But anyway, to the point. In the made for TV version, the only way that Art is gonna win is if not the made for TV version, is if he fights the movie version. And the thing is, Pennywise can kind of like read thoughts and read minds or whatever. So I'm pretty sure that I don't think Art the Clown really has to say out loud, I'm not afraid of you. I think his mannerisms and him not just being phased by this big clown would just be enough for him to be like, you know, like he would probably just freeze up. Like in the one scene in chapter 2 where he was about to hit that one kid, and even though the kid was like, I'm not afraid of you, he just kind of froze up and was like, like whatever. You know, so I think that Art the Clown just simply not being phased by him would probably weaken him. Only the movie version though. And then I think Art the Clown will probably be able to defeat him. But that's only if Pennywise doesn't use the deadlights.
I was gonna say, boom.
Yeah, the deadlight.
That's only if he doesn't use the deadlights, because I noticed that in the movie version, that when the kids, like when that girl, what's her name? What's the girl's name in the movie? I just had her name in my head.
I need to talk about when she saw the like she like froze and she started lifting up, levitating.
Yeah, because he had her, and
I know the name.
She's like, I'm not afraid of you. And he's like, oh, and he kind of like started twitching and stuff. He was like, and he was like, oh, you will be. And then that's when he opened his mouth or whatever, and then showed
Beverly.
Beverly, there you go. Her name's Beverly. Yeah. So that's the only if Pennywise doesn't use the deadlights on Art in the in the movie version, and they just fight it out, I think that Art the Clown possibly could whoop his ass with his big trash bag of goodies. I think he could probably pull it off. But if Pennywise uses the deadlights, he's breaking Art. And then also, like, let's not forget, Pennywise is controlling a whole fucking town of people. Like, he has them all under like mind control. Like, the only time that he takes them out of mind control is if they leave Derry. Like, you know, so also it depends. I mean, that's another factor. Are they fighting in Derry? Because if Art the Clown has to come to Derry, he might end up getting control.
I still think even if Pennywise isn't in Derry, he'd be powerful no matter where he is. What you're talking about is very the one-off chance, and it'd have, you know, it's too much. He's too much. He's got too much going for him. And I know what you're saying is trying to find that little thing where Art could maybe just slightly get the better of him, but it's so many elements to that. It's just nearly too much, you know.
But if you think about it, just say because on Archer Clown, he's always getting his ass beat, and what happens? He gets right back up.
Yeah, he is pretty resilient.
But
he died.
I still say Pennywise will still win, but it's just still like he's getting his ass whooped, and like he's not folding.
Yeah, I know it's not a really we're doing it because people keep talking about it because there's two clowns. But the fact of the matter is that they're two very different clowns. It's like really, this is like a super being, like a god, you could nearly say, against
a demon, maybe.
Gods can't get beat.
No.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, technically he did. He got beat by some kids, but you know, I think that's the thing that kind of gets people going to like it got defeated by some kids, and it's like, well, yeah, because it's different. It's a different kind of story. Like, look, all right,
Art would not be scared.
Another way that you could look at it too is that it's like Freddy, like you said, like when the kid was like, "Oh, I'm a superhero," and he became like the superhero to fight against Freddy or whatever. It's kind of like the same concept because remember when Richie had the inhaler, he was like, "This is battery acid," and he sprayed him, and it was like if you believe an item can work against it, most likely it can. But the thing is, I don't know if Art the Clown would know that.
All right, we'll say he did. Just say for the sake of Art the Clown knew that I not being scared of him is a weakness, and picking up like my phone and throwing at him and pretending it's a grenade or something will blow him up. It would weaken him, but I just don't think. I think it might take him out of the game slightly. If we're going with that scenario, it could take him. I don't know if it would defeat him. I think he'd get back up, but that is a chance. There's a chance that could happen that way. There is.
But look, all right, and here's another thing that people don't put into perspective either. Mostly for the book though, because it's not really explained in the movie because it wasn't really translated right into the movie or in the made for TV version. The reason why the kids were able to beat Pennywise or it is because they had the turtle power. There's like this turtle god or something,
huge turtle, yeah.
You know, the turtle that fights with it, like in their own little universe, like they're rivals or whatever. Like, and he kind of gave the kids the powers they needed in order to beat it, like in some weird little way. But that's the reason that the kids were able to beat it. It wasn't just because like, oh, they're just these super powered kids. And then also it's assumed that they all have the ability to shine, like because they're all in Stephen King's universe and all of Stephen King's novels coexist with each other. So they say there's this theory that the losers clubs, all the kids in the losers club are able to shine. But I mean, I don't know if that's like a legit thing or not, but
well, I don't see anything in the movie that suggests that, to be honest with you, but I don't know. But again, all I got to say is that there is that chance, but in every other chance, bottom line is Pennywise would win. The only thing we're talking about now is that any way he could hurt him.
What about Pennywise's true form from the made-for-TV version versus Art the Clown?
All right, Art wins. Just push his ass over.
Just push his ass over.
Art, yeah, he wins, hands down. Hands down.
No, but it was ridiculous. This big old spider, like stop motion shit, comes out, right? And it comes out and it didn't look great. It nearly looked friendly, to be honest with you. And it comes out, right? And they went, let's pull out his heart. And they ran over to this spider and they just all pushed it. And it just went.
Yeah.
And it was like
Terrifier wins.
All right, okay.
Yeah, Terrifier wins that one.
Yeah. Hopefully,
Terrifier walk over there like this and.
Yeah, I'm watching these two awesome movies. I'm like, at the end, and I was like, huh?
Yeah. No, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Look, I think Spider It takes it, but that's just me though, because I mean, it's a big ass spider. Like, it's a huge spider.
It takes it pretty much in every scenario.
I think I think out of 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
I think I think it's a 10 out of 10. If we look at book and made for TV version, I think it definitely washing Art the Clown. But if it's the movie version, yeah, then I give it like a 9 out of 10. Art might win 1 out of every 10 fight and that's only if it chooses not to use the deadlights, because it could get kind of cocky. Like he's kind of like he's a little cocky. He kind of he gets full of himself. So I can see him kind of like letting Art slide a little bit, and then Art's like, "Oh, you fucked up now," and then just like hit him with that club or something. But the only way Art wins against the made for TV, the movie version, is if he doesn't use the deadlights. Once he uses the deadlights, it's a wrap. He's gonna warp Art's mind, and it's gonna snap.
But we still don't know enough about Art the Clown. The next one, we might find out more that he's more resilient than you know. So this could be another team up again, another day. Like as I said, like he might be resilient to deadlights because he's supernatural in the end,
Nah,
And
but I think the deadlights have the same effect on people in this world. So as long as Art the Clown is in this
no,
world,
but
maybe
he's still
deadlights are
not
going to
quite
affect him the same way.
human, is he, Art the Clown? Even though he is, he's not. There's a supernatural thing about him, and he's obviously powered up because he can't die. So there might be something where he might be resilient because he's a demon. Away from those deadlights, it might mean nothing to him. But again, we don't know nothing about the guy. It's just that he didn't die a couple of times, and then he has a little girl with him, and that's it. Literally, that's all
Just
we know. We know shitloads. We know all about the film and it. We know well a lot. There's more in the book. There's so much to know about it, and it's unfair to say he could just lose to Deadlights because he is. Bottom line is he isn't human.
yeah, I mean,
He is supernatural.
and they're coming out with a movie or another TV series about Arch the Clown, like what really happened. So this is a good one. This is a good one, like you said. There might be more shit to Arch.
It might be. Yeah, we still need to find out more.
I
I think
mean,
sometimes less is more because I'd like to know a bit more, but I don't want to know too much because they might just ruin him. When you know too much.
I think in the next Terrifier movie, we're getting the full backstory, if I'm not mistaken.
it's the thing. It's the same way with Pennywise. They're gonna do a full backstory on Pennywise.
Welcome to Derry.
Oh, you're talking about? Well,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's. I heard it's mostly going to. Well, maybe, yeah. But it
Yeah.
sucks that Bill Skarsgård isn't really going to be in it. So
Is that even ever going to be on? Because I've been listening to it about this for years, and I've seen still no Derry. Welcome to Derry. I've still seen no production. I've seen nothing started. There's been no cast. There is nothing about this. Just talk, and even like it's been going for years. Really think about it. It's been talked about years. You've seen that picture on Facebook and everywhere for a while. Nothing's been said. Nothing. There's no cast. There's no set design.
I mean, it really doesn't help right now because it's a writer strike. So we really won't know.
But even if there was a writer strike, there would be something in place for when it's ready. There's nothing. There's no cast. No director. We have nothing.
Wait, who did Warner Brothers did that, right?
Yeah.
Warner Brothers just had that whole like upper echelon move around and shit. So that's another thing too. They had a lot of moving pieces from the top move around, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when it happens. I think there's money to be made.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
definitely because, like I said, Pennywise is a super iconic character. Once you have a killer cloud, it's a wrap. It's iconic. But so I think we all agree that Pennywise will take away the W. Well, at least for now, until we figure out a little bit more about Art. I mean, there's a whole lot of hypotheticals on how Art will win, but it's too definitive that most likely Pennywise is going to walk away with the W. Like, even if he doesn't use the deadlights, I mean, he has that big ass form that could do massive damage. If he doesn't get pushed over and loses his balance.
And he's a spider. He can run away, and he just so many things he can do.
But then. Dude, he freaking mind controlled that kid to hunt down the losers club. You get what I'm saying? So he could do that stuff.
Yeah,
he killed his dad. I mean, he mind controlled him to kill his dad. It was nice.
So, Dave, a question for you. Something I don't know. You said that if he takes the form of a werewolf, he will inherit the weaknesses of the werewolf.
Yeah, so that's why that was the whole silver bullet.
Does he still inherit the weaknesses that he already has too, along with the werewolf? You know what I mean?
Oh, the whole not being afraid of him.
Yeah, does that still?
I think that amplifies it. Like it's weird. It's like it seems like one, if he inherits the weaknesses, and then if you believe, like I think it makes it easier because remember when, like I said, when Richie was like, "Oh, here's a battery acid," I think it more so worked because they believed that it will work. Oh, he's a werewolf, so that means that silver would kill him. So since they believed that the silver would kill him. That's why it did so much damage. Because even when they hit him with the silver in his true form and it did damage, it's because in their mind they said that this is going to work. So it's weird. It's like that kid stuff.
The reason I'm saying that is that if he decided to transform himself into Art the Clown himself and have a one-on-one with him, obviously he'd be the same strength and all that, but he'd still have his own weaknesses. So I suppose it would make him weaker. But that would be so. Somebody needs to draw this.
draw Art the Clown opening up his mouth like wide and then doing the deadlights. That shit will be sick.
Yeah,
That'll be hard. But yeah, that'll be cool though. But hey, let us know in the comment section down below who you guys think will win. Do you think that Pennywise is going to win? Whether it's the made-for-TV version, whether it's the book version, whether it's the movie version, or do you think we tripping and Art the Clown will win every single bout between him and Pennywise? But let us know in the comment section down below. Make sure to check out Del Boy's YouTube channel. I'll have it linked up in the description. Make sure to check out D's channel. D's nuts. No, D&J review, movie reviews. They just did a video about funniest scenes from Friday with Day.
Friday, yeah.
Yeah, so just when you guys get a minute, check them out, support them, subscribe, leave a comment, be like, Davey from the 80s sent me, and then unsubscribe. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, but you guys are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Thank you guys for coming by. Thank you guys for stopping and watching this video. We'll see you guys next time. Adios.